Hello everyone, welcome to another FOTN review. This is for the fight of the night at UFC Fight Night Thompson vs. Pettis at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. And it's the main event, quote unquote, of the prelims. The last fight on the prelims between Bryce Mitchell, one of my boys from season 28, I think it was, of The Ultimate Fighter, and Bobby Moffett, who I'm not too familiar with. But yeah, I really like this fight. It went the distance. Bryce Mitchell won by unanimous decision. It was a very, very close one. And I'm going to try and sort of break it down. First thing I'll mention, though, is a couple of things about this. First, there was a new referee whose name I think was Rick Parker. I think that was his name. And one of the commentators, I forget which one it was, at point of the fight kept mispronouncing Bryce's first name as Brian. So, that was weird. But anyway, yeah, the fight itself. So, starts on the feet, obviously. The two trade some good shots. It's mostly like leg kicks. They mostly test the waters with each other. It's a smart fight on the feet. That's worth pointing out. There's not a lot of stand-up, but when there is, it's very intelligent. It's more technical. And there's a point where Bryce lands a really good shot on Bobby and knocks him down, like cracks him with a straight left, and goes to the ground with him. And this is something I'm going to be saying a lot about this fight. The stand-up elements were good. The ground elements and the wrestling were fucking amazing. This might be the best groundwork I've seen all year so far. It was absolutely brilliant. Like, I just really liked it. Bryce managed to get a good knockdown on Bobby. Managed to get on top and try to get some submissions in. Had a really good rear naked choke. Had a really good DOS choke as well. But Bobby managed to counter with some good moves of his own. The round ended with Bryce sort of on Bobby's side, trying to get a side triangle choke, but the round ended before anything else could happen. Bobby managed to fucking hang in there. I definitely give round one more to Bryce, but Bobby managed to get some good takedowns. He got some good strokes on the feet, but not with the same power as Bryce did, but I definitely give round one to Bryce. Round two, obviously, starts on the feet again. This time it's Bobby that lands the shot. He doesn't knock down Bryce, but he lands a lot of really good counter punches at the start especially. And he manages to take Bryce down. There's some really good clinch work between the two. And he manages to go for submissions this time as well. And one thing I forgot to mention is that I didn't record this, I didn't do this review yesterday because I had to have food, basically, so I didn't have time. But yeah, Bobby managed to take most of round two. Like, the stand-up, as I've mentioned, was quite good. He managed to land some good shots, but it was definitely in the wrestling department where he sort of started to shine a bit more. Because Bobby Moffett is apparently a slow starter. He doesn't like to finish in round two. In fact, he doesn't like to finish in round one. Most of his finishes have come in round two. He starts line round one to get the pacing. And against a guy like Bryce Mitchell, who's known for playing unexciting fights, you don't really get a lot of chance to test how good your pacing is against it. But yeah, Bobby managed to land some good shots. He managed to get some good wrestling. He managed to get some good clinch work in. He got a couple of submissions of his own. Like, rear naked chokes were a lot of the submissions tried, but there was some good limb stuff as well, especially on there was a good couple of arm bars. There was a good couple of triangle chokes. And props to both guys. I definitely give round two to Bobby. But props to both guys for managing to tough out some really strong looking submissions. That was just some great moments. There was a moment where Bobby had Bryce on the DOS choke, and it looked so serious. Like, I thought Bryce was going to tap. If I didn't know that he won this one, I would have thought he was going to tap. Because it was a damn tight DOS choke. But yeah, Bryce managed to tough it until the end of the round, and then we move on to round three. And it is, once again, sort of more of the same, but there's a bit more wrestling, and it's not boring. Like, you would think that 3 rounds of that sort of stuff, of that sort of pace, would sort of grind on you a little bit and get boring. But no, they actually kept it exciting. They kept throwing up really good submission attempts. There was actually a bit more ground pound in round 3, which I quite liked. So there was more of that classical offense as well. But the majority of the story was in the technicality. There was a lot of great submissions attempted. I think the only tiny thing that I could think of that could drag points from this fight for me was there was sort of an unintentional groin shot in round 2, but Bryce managed to recover quickly. It was Bobby that accidentally got Bryce, but they made up for it. They showed great respect to each other, which I quite like in a fight, as you all know by now. And yeah, round 3, like the two were wrestling. Really, really good submission attempts. Bryce, once again, almost had a rear naked choke. And Bobby had some good submissions of his own, and they toughed it out until the end of round 3. And sort of rightfully so, Bryce won by unanimous decision, but it was a very close unanimous decision. I honestly would have been happy if he won by split decision. I don't think Bobby won, but he did a lot to impress me. He toughed out a lot of Bryce's offense because Bryce has really good submissions. And it made the fight really exciting. The crowd were into it. Like, they reacted like the two within the octagon were heroes after escaping those submissions because, sorry, my hair's always messy. Because there was a great rear naked choke and one would get out of it. There's great dodge choke, one would get out of it. There's great armbar attempts, triangle choke attempts. Guillotine at some point, I think that was as well. Like, I'm going to close off the review basically by saying the stand-up was good. There were some good, exciting moments, but the ground stuff is where it shines, and I think this could be one of my fights of the year so far because of that unique sort of thing. You know, the pacing didn't let up, even though it was mostly a ground fight, and I actually quite like that, and it kept me on edge. I think that's the most important part about a fight of the night being worthy of being a fight of the night. It kept me on edge because I did not know if one was going to tap or the other was going to tap. Well, obviously I didn't know because I looked up the results. Duh. But like, even if I didn't, I don't think I would have been sure. You know? Of course I wouldn't have been sure because I wouldn't have looked at the results, so I would be going in blind. Basically, what I'm saying is this fight is really good and you should watch it. It's definitely one of my favorites of 2019 so far. I like Bryce Mitchell a lot already. He's just a really good dude. I like Bobby Moffett, and I hope to see more of him soon, maybe. But yeah, I quite like this fight. I read this fight, and it's really good. So find it and watch it. And that's really all I have to say about it. Congrats to both men. They both definitely earned Fight of the Night, in my opinion. And I'll see you all probably on Wednesday for my next stream, my next PPW stream. That's my next pay-per-view, Capture the Crown. Really looking forward to that one. And then the day after that hopefully the day after that for the next backtracking episode, which is going to be Limp Bizkit. So, looking forward to those, and obviously the grind don't stop when you meet. But yeah, this is a really good fight. And I'll see you all for whatever the hell comes next. Possibly a vocal cover, I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot more lately, and I still want to do one. So, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye.